I have plywood here that I'm going to cut down to make the Strongback out of. The Strongback is the foundation on which the canoe will be built. So I'm going to put that on, I can never remember what the hell it's called. Motion capture, I guess, and run this through. I've got 2 sheets of plywood I need to run through. Well, I've cut all the pieces that I'm going to need for the Strongback and marked them for the most part. So here's the outline of the Strongback. And now to join the 2 8-foot sections together, I drop this in. And screw that together. Finishing up the Strongback, spraying the top on. Still have to make the legs. Some people just put the Strongback on sawhorses like I have it currently resting. But I'm going to go ahead and make legs for it, and it'll lower this down quite a bit. And I don't want it too high because I still have to put the forms on, and the forms are going to be about that tall. And I have to work on top of those forms. You'll see that later. So I'm trying to customize this to my height. And this will be it for most of the preliminary work. I should be able to in the next day or so start putting strips on. And I can tell you it's exciting. It's been a long time coming. I spent a great deal of time reading books, watching videos online. A lot of people have made cedar strip canoes and made videos, and they've been helpful. This is not a video on how to make a cedar strip canoe. This is a video on how I made my cedar strip canoe. A bit of a difference there. The difference is that this is a journey that I'm taking. I'm using other people's roadmaps to do it. I'm sure there are many ways of building a canoe. Well, I can tell you there are many ways of building a canoe. And I'm sure that after having done this
there are things that I will want to change in how I build the canoe. It's exciting though to be to the point where I can actually start. It seems like it's been a long way coming. This is the 4th of July weekend. I started this on Father's Day. And to be honest, I didn't do much. I only worked on it a couple of weekends. But now, as you can see, this takes up the entire garage. So my intent is to just keep moving forward. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do this. According to my research, I can only do about 3 strips a day. I should say 3 strips at a time. Each strip is just under 3/4 of an inch. So about 2 1/4 inches at a time. Well, we build the leg in place. I'm going to build it right here. This piece is going to go here. Actually, it goes here. Where can I put you? Put you there. One piece goes there. One piece goes there. Yep, she's right over here. The tree. She's coming around now.
Okay.
I have the Strongback completed. I have 2 8-foot long boxes. One comes to here, this one starts here and goes all the way down. In the middle, I have a 4-foot box. And the 4-foot box is secured to the 2 8-foot boxes in order to make it sturdy and straight and true and so on and so forth. Now this is supposed to be a stationary table, but as you can see, I'm doing this in my garage, and right there is a driveway where, if all goes well, I'll be able to sand to my heart's content without getting sawdust everywhere here and in the house. So to that end, I've made these wheels that I'm going to attach to the bottom of the legs. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these to the bottom, and hopefully this gives me the ability to roll this out into the driveway when the really dusty work begins and bring it back in for when I do the fiberglass, because I'd rather do that in here. And that's another reason why I would like to dust out there, is to keep the dust to a minimum in here. So when I fiberglass, I don't have dust going everywhere. So let me go ahead and attach this. I should probably have help doing this, but I think what I'm going to do is roll it on its side here so that it just starts to tilt, and we'll see if I can't get the whole thing over by myself. This is one of those things where when it goes wrong, it goes wrong. And you think to yourself, ah, shit, I should have got a helping hand. All right, there's the Strongback. Now that I have the Strongback built, I have to attach these blocks to it, and they need to be 18 inches away from each other. This is what I'll attach the forms to. I've drawn lines on the Strongback, both the center line and lines every 18 inches. And it's important now that I make sure that every one of these is in the same orientation. So in other words, all of these will be behind the line from your perspective all the way down. I'm using a speed square to make sure it's square to the factory edge. I left the factory edge on this side along the entire length. I marked it so that as I pushed it through the table saw, if I walked it at all, just a little bit, I still have a straight edge. And I keep saying, this is a moment I've been building up to, but this is a moment I've been building up to. I have the Strongback built, I've got the blocks in, and now it's time to start raising the frames. And on the Strongback, I've marked a center line. You can use a chalk line for this, but I went ahead and marked a center line. And then I marked a center line on all the frames. I'm gonna raise the frame, set it to the center line, and then screw it on home. Now, it would be really nice if I could keep this at a 90, but I can't because this is top heavy. So what I'll do is, for right now, I'll get it as close to a 90 as I can, drive the final screw in, and then later on I'll come back and I'm going to run a strip across the top and hold it in place at a 90 until I get some strips along the side. We'll see that as we move along. And there's the first frame. You may recall that I talked about when I put the blocking in, I had to keep everything relative. In other words, the front of the block had to face the same way. So here's the next frame that's going to go in. And because I measured 18 inches from this side of the block to this side of the block, this frame will go in front of the block from your perspective. That's the next frame, frame 4. And then frame 3. And there's a mirror image for the other side. So frame 6 and frame 4 are exactly the same. Frame 3 and frame 7 are exactly the same, and so on and so forth. As with many things, now it's just repetitive. So I'll put this on time lapse. I finally remembered what it's called. It's called time lapse. And I'll get some work done in time lapse, and we'll come back and talk again. That's it for the day. The Strongback is together with the frames, and you can see that the shape of the canoe is starting to occur. I'll spend some time tomorrow getting the very first strip on, and that'll take me some time. I'll have to make some jigs before I do that. But this is the beginning. Or I guess, not the beginning. This is just about the end of the prep work. After this, it'll be making the canoe.